Yo, peace to the 12. So, this is just gonna be me commentating on something I saw. When I be getting stuff ready for other videos, getting data, information, links and sources and stuff like that. I just have regular things playing in the background, whether it's geopolitical or social commentary or whatever, right? I just be having it in the background, right? So, this guy, Bill Maher, popped up on my feed or whatever, and they started playing what he was saying. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do a video on this because he's going to say a lot of things that I'm going to be going into. Let's just say that, right? So let's get to it, right? And just for context, right? This person, Chapel Roan or whatever, is a Decepticon, right? A Transformer, part of the rainbow community. And that person is a free Palestine type of person, basically, for lack of a better term. And this guy, obviously, Bill Maher, being a Edomitical, Caucasian, secular, Jewish man, he's gonna basically sneak this, right? And he's gonna be speaking on some things, and that's where I'm gonna get into it. And I'm gonna give my piece and speak what I know to be the truth. So, without any further ado, let's go. I'm interrupting whenever I need to. And let me say this before I play the video. Fair use. This is my thoughts and comments on this video, YouTube, before you try to play with me. But anyway, go ahead and talk.
Ashtrays and vaginal sex.
Just an aside, they always had these little people laughing. I never been here, but I've heard from people that this guy has a sign up there, allegedly, where whenever he says a certain quip of joke, the sign will say laugh. It'll tell the audience to laugh. Now, if that's true, that just means that your ass ain't funny. But, whatever. Anyway, continue on.
And I didn't learn about the Middle East from TikTok, which is a Chinese company whose totalitarian government would just love to have Americans.
All these guys always talk about China is totalitarian and China does this and China does that. Why y'all keep buying stuff from China then, huh? Why is so much stuff made from China? If y'all care so much, y'all wanna virtue signal about what China's got going on, how come y'all keep getting stuff made in China? Yeah, that's just so funny. But continue speaking. Oh, they teach the youth to hate America. Well, let me tell you something. You don't need TikTok or Chinese propaganda to teach the youth to hate Babylon the Great. All right, this place knows that they don't care about them, right? A lot of these young people, they waking up, they know that y'all don't care about them. When I say y'all, I'm talking about the people who lead the movers and shakers of this corporation, Babylon the Great, right? They know this place is full of shit, right? They know they don't have the citizens' hearts at their best interest. They definitely don't, and they know that. So you don't need TikTok or any foreign agent to convince the youth to be rebellious towards this system, all right? Particularly ran by the so-called white man. But anyway, continuing.
Some of that algorithm stuff you say you want to look into. Now, first off, the fact that you don't know much history isn't your fault.
I'm sure you don't know much history either. You've probably been lied to by the pretenders your entire life, even though you yourself don't even believe in the scriptures. Of course you don't, because most Edomites don't, because most Edomites are profane, i.e. secular, meaning they don't have any interest nor liking to the scriptures or any religious texts. But anyway.
You live in the United States, where the schools stopped doing that whole teaching facts thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, the schools have always, it's not really ever been about teaching facts per se. It's more so about indoctrinating people. That's more so what it is, right? To indoctrinate a bunch of children so that they become the new workers to replace the old, all right? Teaching facts, that was never their MO. But continue.
But getting all your history from TikTok is like getting all your calories from Hostess.
Yes, right. Instead, we should get all of our facts from you or so-called mainstream media. Well, and by the way, I don't even have a TikTok, but it's so funny. A lot of dudes like this, a lot of people, period, like this, particularly that are voices on the television. They'll be like, "Oh, you guys, you get all your information from TikTok or whatever, right?" But what they really mean is, yeah, you should be getting your information from me. You should be getting your information from the programmers on the television. That's what you should be getting your information from, right? Because if you do any independent research, they're going to laugh you out the room most of the time, unless the independent research that you did came from a source that they would recommend you, right? For example, I've done a lot of history videos on my channel where people wrote about things, and meanwhile I have these clowns in my comment sections who think it's funny. You know, there's no rebuttal, right? They don't say why I'm wrong. They just laugh. You know why? Because if you're not saying what they want you to say, you're automatically wrong, period. But anyway, that's what most of these people mean when they try to rag on TikTok. And once again, I don't even have a TikTok.
I know you're moved by what you see on there. We all are. The dead.
No, you're not. You're not moved by the dead so-called Palestinian bodies. All right, so we could just drop that. All right, I'm led to believe. You know, I can't prove this, but I'm led to believe that you really happy about it. Which, by the way, I'm glad he mentioned the Palestinians, because that's where I'm going to get into this first part of the video. The current people that live in there that go by the name of Palestinians, they are not the original so-called Palestinians. I'm going to go into that in a minute. Nor is this guy's group the real inhabitants either. But first, let's go into Palestinians. I want to go into this first. So, you know, Palestine, it's in the Bible, pops up in Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 4th verse. It says, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon? And all the coasts of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So for those of you that don't know, the word Palestine goes back to the word Philistine, right? The word Palestine goes back to the word Philistine. Look, Palestine, originally the sea coast of the land of Canaan, inhabited by Philistines. So for those of you that don't know what the Philistines are of the sons of Ham. They're Hamites, all right? Which means what? They are what you would call today so-called black Africans, right? I'll do a video on the sons of Ham, because all so-called black people are not Hamites, but the Philistines nonetheless were so-called black Africans, right? Hamites. And let me go into this some more. You see this word Palestine, you got Palestina, Philistine, Palestine. See, all the same thing. Palestine, Philistine, they mean the same thing. So it's the land of the Philistines, right? Philistia, land of sojourners, right? That's Palestine. Palestinia, Palestine, Philistines, right? And let me prove that they come from the sons of Ham. When you go to 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 8, it reads, the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim, Put and Canaan. Now when we go down to here in verse 12, it says, in Pathrusim and Casluhim, of whom came the Philistines and Caphtorim. So the Philistines go back to the sons of Ham, the Hamites, right? You got Cush, which are the Ethiopians, Puwat, which is the Libyans, the Canaanites, right? You got Mizraim, which goes back to the Egyptians, right? And yeah, they're also called black, right? And I'm not about to argue with people on that. Well, actually, listen. You can kick rocks. But anyway, so I just wanted to do that. And why do I mention that? Why did I said originally that your current Palestinians are not the original inhabitants of the land. Yeah, that's right, because your current Palestinians, they classify themselves as so-called Arabs, right? Right, which goes back to the word Arab, which means mixed. But nonetheless, they call themselves Arabs. Well, the Arabs, the Arabians, go back to the Ishmaelites, or the sons of Ishmael, which is go to the line of Shem. It has nothing to do with Ham. Therefore, they could not be the original Palestinians, because the original Palestinians were Hamites, right? And they went to the sons of Ham, and they were so-called black, right? And just to prove that they go back to Ishmael, let's go here. Look, character of Ishmael and his descendants, Arabian nomads, right? So I just wanted to get all that out the way on my first note. So they're not the aboriginal inhabitants. And neither is this guy. But continue on, Mr. Bill.
Palestinian bodies. But it's odd that your generation didn't seem nearly as moved by the Jewish bodies on October 7th.
They don't seem nearly as moved by those bodies because your bodies occupy that territory, sir. All right, your bodies occupy that territory. And when I say your bodies, because I gotta use my words carefully because of YouTube, but I'm talking about your living bodies. The people who live there today, they're occupying that territory, right? After the 1948 agreement, right, where you started a colony, right, alleging yourselves to be of the children of Israel, right? So I just wanted to go into that as well, but continue. But that's why people aren't as occupied, because knowing history, or people aren't as concerned, because people are aware of colonial projects in the past. They have a super negative light, and that's why a lot of people are against it today. But nonetheless.
You killed at Coachella this year, but when Hamas kills at a music festival, it's a whole other thing. Doesn't the sight of so many young women raped at a music festival make it a...
Yeah. Does it? The sight of many women who were forced on? Well, I mean, you guys are forcing yourselves on them as well, right? Check this out. Israelis force themselves on Palestinian prisoners. Y'all can look this up. I'm not even going to go into the article. Y'all can look it up. Sky News. Video appears to show IDF soldiers sexually abusing Palestinians. Everything is legitimate. Al Jazeera. Israeli leaders defend soldiers accused of doing it. CNN. Video appears to show Israeli soldiers sexually assaulting Palestinian prisoners, right? So they got it on video of you guys doing stuff. And actually one of them lost their lives after the fact. But, you know, just wanted to bring that up. But continue.
A little personal. My guess is that Gen Z hearts are hardened by the propaganda you see on TikTok, which likes to call...
It doesn't have to be propaganda. I mean, you see a live video of somebody whose flesh is getting burned off. I mean, that ain't propaganda. That's just what's literally happening. You know. And this is coming from a guy, me. Y'all already know my deal. I only care about the 12 tribes of Israel, the real ones, right? Everybody else, that's not my concern. I ain't got no particular hate for anybody else. Well, you know, but also I don't care. Not my concern. I care about the 12 tribes of Israel, the real ones, right? But you know, continue on. I have to use all my words coded and carefully, and they still might damn hit the video anyway. But hey, I tried. But let me rewind that.
Hardened by the propaganda you see on TikTok, which likes to call the Jews colonizers. But colonizers are intruders who have no history in an area, like when Spain conquered the Mayans.
You don't have history. All right, you're not the original. You're not the originals, man. Like, can we stop playing make-believe, pretend? And this be the same guy, right? He don't believe in anything biblically related, right? He don't believe in the Bible. He's a so-called atheist, man. He always makes fun of the Bible. You got this guy trying to convince the audience that, oh, we're not colonizers. We always been. You're not the originals, man. Can we stop playing make believe right now? You know what? And let me go into that. Real quick. You know, I know you're not the original. I can prove without a shadow of a doubt. I ain't gonna go too crazy into it right now, but because I've done it in other videos. But I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that you particularly like how you look. You are not the original inhabitant. They did not look like you. And that's according to your own literature, which I'm about to get. So when we go to the Talmud, right? The Talmud is the central text of Rabbinic Judaism and primary source of Jewish religious law and Jewish theology. Right? I saved one of my videos. I'm just going to go into it. Y'all can watch it. It said King David had brown skin in the Bible from the 1500s. But we're going to go into this. And let's go with this. This guy right here, right? This guy. His name is Rabbi Ishmael, born in 90 A.D. Right? He wrote something in the Talmud. Let's see what he said. We're going to go to Mishnah Nagaim 2. This is what he had to say. He said, Rabbi Ishmael says, the children of Israel, so he's talking about the Israelites, the children of Israel, may I be an atonement for them, are like boxwood, neither black nor white, but of an intermediate shade. So he's telling you right here that the children of Israel were not so-called white people, nor were they extremely black. They were an intermediate shade, meaning different shades of brown. That's what it means, right? So going back to how you look, Bill, you don't fit the bill, Bill. So what are we talking about? But this is what really made me get into this video, because I just thought it was funny. We're not colonized. We've been here forever. You know why you're over there right now? I'm gonna get it right now. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel 36, the 36th chapter. Right, so you guys, you go back to Esau, the majority of you. Now, of course, like I say all the time, actually, you can look like any other nation. You can look like a so-called white man and be an Israelite if your descendants go back to the children of Israel through your father's seed line. Done many videos on that. So I'm not disqualifying someone based on their physical appearance, because Israel has been mixed among the nations. But this idea that all of you guys look like this and most of you guys over there now look like this is a complete lie. But I'm gonna tell you why you made it over there. Where is it at? Give me 1 second. Oh, this is it. Is this it? Might be 6. Give me 1 second. 3 Edom. Idumea. Yes, this is what I wanted, right? So Ezekiel 36 and 5, I had it right the first time. In Ezekiel 36 and 5, it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all of Idumea." Idumea goes back to Edom, which goes back to the Edomites, right? "Which have appointed my land into their possession with joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." So our land is currently occupied by the Idumeans, the Edomites, right? And that's how the population looks the way that it looks now, all right? They occupied the land, right? Once again, Idumea appointed my land into their possession. There ain't no way around that. So that's why they're over there. But I wanted to go into that too. But continue on.
When the Dutch took over South Africa, they had no history to the land. They just wanted it. But Israel is the Jews' homeland, and Jews have always lived there. I cap you.
He says they've always lived there. Actually, that's also not true. That's also not true. The children of Israel did not always live there. The Canaanites originally lived there. You can read about that in Genesis 17 and 8. It says, "The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God." So the Israelites got the land of Israel from the Canaanites, right? When we went to war with them, because that was a promise made to Abraham. So we have actually not always been over there, all right? And they damn sure ain't always been over there, meaning this guy. But that's not even true that the children of Israel always had the land that you're talking about, because originally it belonged to the Canaanites. That's "thus saith the Lord," that's in the scriptures. But let's go back.
They had no history to the land. They just wanted it. But Israel is the Jews' homeland, and Jews have always lived there. I cap you not.
Again,
You can
no.
look it up. It's in this book called the Bible.
Yeah, it's in this book called the Bible that you don't believe in.
Which is horribly wrong about sex ed, slavery, science, and cooking. But the archaeology checks.
And this makes me think about, once again, like I said, he's an Edomite, right? And there's a scripture that talks about them hating instruction. Hatists. Instruction. Psalms. Let's get that. Psalms 50, that's where it's at. Psalms 50 and 17 through 23. I'm going to get that right now. I'm actually going to start at 16. I believe it says 16. Yep, this is the wicked, right? So this is Psalms 50 and 16. "But unto the wicked," by the way, spoiler alert, the wicked, the true wicked, are the Edomites, right? The children of Esau. But he says, "But unto the wicked, God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee, just like how he did, right? Oh, the Bible's wrong about this, this, and this. But, just like, hating instruction, like, like a natural born Edomite. And cast my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and hast been a partaker with adulterers. Yeah. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Man, I mean, look at that, man. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Who's thine own mother's son that they speak against? It's talking about Jacob. Esau speaks against his own mother's son. That other son is Jacob. That's who it's talking about, right? But yeah, that's who it's talking about. So I just wanted to go in there. Anything else I wanted there? That might actually be all I had, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, you know what? I'll say this too before I get out of here. A little more things I gotta say about the fact that they said they were different shades of brown. Also in the scriptures, Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian, right? Who Joseph was mistaken for an Egyptian. Mind you, these are all Israelites, right? You have Apostle Paul in the New Testament. He was also mistaken for an Egyptian, right? And the Egyptians were non-white. So the original stock could not have looked like you. So I just wanted to say that as well. And, you might say some other stuff in here, but my point is made. I really don't care about anything else you got to say. I just thought it was funny that he would go into this. And I wanted to go ahead and do some edification on the Palestinians as well as the children of Israel and their complexion, so on and so forth. So anyways, man, that's going to be it. With that, I say peace to the 12. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Heavenly Father, Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh's the name of Heavenly Father, who the world commonly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the Savior of the nation of Israel, who the world commonly calls Jesus Christ. I want to say shalom to these PC people listening and learning, you brothers doing this work, truth, sincerity, and to you elders that's been doing this thing before me, man. I'm going to get up on out of here. I'm gone. Shalom, peace.